Intelligent, insightful, smart. These are words other podcasts use to describe themselves, not us. This is Fairly Harmless, where missing the point is only the beginning. With musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns. East Coast Funk. Please enjoy Andrew and James.
Hey, welcome to Fairly Harmless. My name is James.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Brendan.
Brendan.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Here we are on this beautiful day.
Yeah.
Finally a nice day. It's
Right.
nice outside and hot in here.
It's not that hot. I mean,
It's gonna get there,
It's
though.
going to get there. Well,
This room gets hot as shit.
you're so... I think the problem with the heat is you, James.
I'm a fat man. I am very well
No,
insulated.
it's because you're beautiful.
Oh,
You too, Brendan, in your own special way. Very
Yes.
beautiful.
Special way, okay.
Well, we can explore that
I hear
later.
that word quite a bit when it comes to me, so I didn't think you had reached that kind of understanding of my personality to go to the special route, but apparently you have.
we got special ed, but he
That's
goes by
right.
Fat Daddy, so
Fat Debbie.
Fat Debbie, Fat Debbie. All the Debbie snacks that she
So-
eats.
the Fast Eddie.
Yeah.
What do you think his best 40 time was?
Ooh, I don't...
Running
said-
40?
Yeah.
40?
Now, did he play football in high school?
I think he
I
did.
think he must have.
We got to go there. I'm saying a good 5.6.
5'6".
5.6. I think he might
Is
have
this
done the 40.
5.6 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, heavens no. I think...
I would say 60 seconds.
no. What was yours? when you played?
I would say I got down to about a 4.8 or something like that.
I would guess he would be about like a 10-2, 11-7.
So when we go the 100-meter routes, ooh, that's a different story. I don't
100
think.
meters, that's a football field.
Oh
no?
yeah, I don't think I did more than 12 seconds if I can recall. Like, yeah,
That seems
I think
really fast.
I think that might be pushing it.
I have never run. Well, I ran once in my life. I jogged. I had this moment in college where, well, it was post-college, and I was living with my roommate.
Was
And
that a sexual relationship?
no,
with the
no
roommate?
sex.
Okay.
It was, he had his own girlfriend. I had
Mhm.
mine. And, but the thing is that he was like, you should get in shape. And we used to smoke cigarettes and then go jogging in the park. And, so I remember there was a stint where I was jogging, in my life. And, it was just awful. Just awful.
That
The
reminds me-
jogging, never mind the running. We're talking
Right.
sprinting here with Fast Eddie.
Oh, that's true. With Fast Eddie, we're talking sprinting. I was the only thing I'm going to sprint away from is probably like a fire or maybe a dinosaur.
a dinosaur
an
on
elephant,
fire.
a dinosaur
An
on
elephant?
fire.
And let's just say the benchmark for the fastest people in the NFL is about 4.2, 4.3 for that 40. So you're adding a 1.3 seconds on. For someone in high school, 17 years old, who is in a motorcoma shape, might be able to do it.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I know
Well,
what
if
he's
there's
talking
listeners
about.
out there, I think you said there are 3 or 4 people that might listen. Someone out there might understand.
So I was out
Okay.
to lunch yesterday.
We have 14 listeners.
14
I checked
listeners.
today. I'll show you on the
Do we
big
know
board.
how many of those 14 listeners do you know?
Half of them.
Maybe half.
Those 7 people outstanding, you have no idea who tunes in.
No.
I know where some of them came from. So my sister, Gretchen, she
It's amazing how much you need eye contact to facilitate a conversation once in a while.
Yeah,
Listen, I need to see your gent's eyes.
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway,
the first time we tried to do this, I mean, we'll get back to your story, but
sure, it's important.
the first time that we did this in his apartment, and it was. I remember we because we when the whole way this started was, he said, "I'm gonna we should do a podcast," and I'm like, okay, that'd be really fun.
Wait, I said that, or you
You
said
said
that?
that to me. That's how this
Really?
all started.
You're the
You
memory
said,
of this.
You
of
said
this
we should do
triumvirate.
a podcast, and I was slated to do a podcast with somebody else,
Right.
and that didn't pan out, probably due to me and my ineptitude. But you came in.
If it's anyone, it's you.
It was definitely my fault, and I remember standing in what is now the game room downstairs.
That's right.
You said we should do a podcast because we found each other funny, and we thought we could share this funniness with the world. And so
what a gift we could give to the
or
world.
14 people.
or 14
Or
people,
14.
maybe 16 if we're lucky. Based on the adventures he had at a German restaurant recently, we may have gained another listener. I don't know. Somebody yesterday listened to all 17 episodes, so I don't
guess
know
it
who
could
the
be
hell
that
it was. But anyhow, so the first time we record, we're at his apartment, and it's a little bit bigger than this room. Maybe about
I guess.
double the size.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, well, keep in mind it's full of furniture and shit. So.
Yeah, and a bed, and
In a bed.
you know.
We had a lot of work in there. Anyways, back to you.
Anyway, back to the story. So he I remember we were looking at each other and we couldn't fucking see each other over all this
Oh,
equipment.
that's right.
And we were like, how the fuck are we going to do this? We were trying to come up with ways we could isolate the sound, but also see each other's face.
Mm-hmm.
And it came down to the fact that we can mainly see each other's eyes. And we just have to go with it from there.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about a cone of silence
That's right.
because we were talking about how to baffle.
We were trying to figure out ways that we could block the sound, but
And then
you know.
James, as he always does, after exhaustive technical study,
yes,
discovered
found some plugins that
software,
found
yes.
some AI that does it for you, and we didn't have to worry about it ever again. This guy and I, when we came into this space, we were thinking about all these like elaborate baffles that we were gonna have to
Yes.
buy and
or build.
or build, and all this fucking technical shit we were gonna have to do. And
I'm not quite sure what a baffle is, so
well,
Sound
it's a
baffle.
sound baffle. You know, you put the baffling up in the corners.
it
and-
helps with the sound.
Yeah, to cut down on the reverberation.
Or reverberation.
Reverberation.
That's the word you're going for.
By the way, I make up a lot of words and I use words wrong all the time. The whole gist of this podcast is I'm crazy and he's deaf. So
Huh?
exactly.
And that's deaf even with the fucking headphones on. We're all wearing headphones, by the
Right.
way.
And we're baffled in. So
We're baffled.
We're baffled in.
But the cool thing is with this technology, it literally takes out all the like bips and boops and fucking echo in this room. And someday when the air conditioner's installed, whenever I get around to doing that, hopefully sooner rather than later, it'll take that noise out too.
Yeah, it's noise canceling for the podcast recording and playback.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about our history. Brendan, why don't you tell us about your history of doing a podcast since you'd mentioned that?
yeah, so I decided to start a college football podcast about 3 years ago, something like that.
Mhm.
And I didn't know if I wanted to do ACC since we are in North Carolina or
Correct,
make it
yeah.
a national podcast. So with the help of someone from college, I decided to do an ACC football related podcast. I did about maybe one episode with him before he absconded, and then I did 3 or 4 by myself, and I thought the product was inferior, just me talking about what's going on in the world. I thought that it was informative. It just wasn't funny. You need some rapport with the other people that you're with.
Yeah, you got to have a little something to bounce you off of.
You
know?
got. I need to be bounced all over the place to be effective, right? So me by Brendan standing by himself does not necessarily work all
No,
the
that's
time.
true.
So
It's true for us.
now that being said, there was a lot of research I did for that podcast. So when it came to time management, I didn't have the time to research and then speak to no one in particular. I think I got up to about 20, 25 people, but not quite sure what the
Wow.
breakdown
Wow,
was.
man, you those numbers are a
That's-
dream for
I think
Really?
us.
so.
Right.
But I think with
crushing.
my friend, we could have grown it quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Because I did. I really researched a lot of each city papers, podcasts to provide condensed material on what was really transpiring in ACC football. If anyone wants to go back, you can probably still find it out there. It was called The Big Tight End.
Oh, that's a good name.
Are you still open to doing this podcast in the
I
future?
am. With all the changes in college football these days, though, the ACC, as we knew it even 3 years ago, might even change a little bit more. So it's really a question of where to focus efforts. It might be more collective, like across the landscape, at least some tier 1 college football programs.
You could start in the ACC. And
I could start in the
beyond.
ACC and expand, but you need a co-host that can really, be your sidekick.
I think I got
to be
somebody
dangerous.
I know 2 people that might be really good for that podcast.
Who's that podcast?
Right.
I'm thinking Fast Eddie.
That's who I'm thinking of.
and
Fast
also
Eddie.
number 2, because number
Number
2
two.
is big into sports.
Fast Eddie has a great.
Okay, I know Fast Eddie, but number 2 is who?
Number 2, Andrew. Andrew, number 2. We just call him number 2.
You.
No,
He's
I'm
number 1.
Yeah, you're number 1. I don't know number 2.
I don't know if you know number 2.
You may not know him. You've seen him.
You've probably seen him once or twice.
Question: do you write here right now? Is
What?
that why you can be here all day doing podcasts?
What?
Oh yeah, we rent here.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Number 1, rent space to do the podcast.
Yeah,
I got
this
you.
is a rented
He's got it all
space.
day shit
rent is-
over here. Good
It's
lord.
Mostly a barter. It's a barter deal.
It's a barter
I have
deal.
to- yeah.
Everything we've done, except for all the things I've bought on my own accord, which number 1 over here wanted to strangle the fuck out of me over.
I've come to accept that he's going to do things which I'm just have to accept.
I
And
just
I
like to
have-
blow money that I don't have. So
That's right.
and I like to particularly blow it for this podcast. I mean, Odessa thinks that everybody should have a hobby. So I've had hobbies over the years.
James's hobby is spending money.
My hobby is spending money, and this is a good thing to pour it into. So
Mhm.
we bought this wonderful piece of equipment here. We bought all the headphones and shit, and this wonderful table. This thing could have set us back $200, $45.
$45. I was actually instrumental.
That's excellent.
I went and picked the table up.
Yeah, he actually disassembled it and put it together, which was pretty amazing.
And if
Because
you can believe that.
I
That's
couldn't do that.
impressive.
It was.
Isn't
Are you a handyman?
I was.
He
I
was.
can
It
be.
was in the HVAC industry. No,
So
I
if
did a
my
little
house
bit of-
needs some work in the next few months, you could hire out your services for that?
I don't know
Kinda
about that. I could advise you and say, do this, do that.
Oh, I can advise all day long. It's the execution I'm looking for.
I'm good at management.
No, I mean, I have knowledge of what's fucked up and why.
Okay. Well, that's a good first step.
So one
Okay.
of the cool things that I've really enjoyed doing, as Andrew pointed out in one of our earlier podcasts from earlier, I like to do the technical shit in this podcast. I like to do all the
I don't know if you like to, but you do.
yeah, like
You're
I just
driven.
I'm driven. I'm because I'm a computer guy. You know, I like to do the technical things.
I think it's possible there's some robot in you.
And there might be.
Is there any robot in you?
I don't know.
You
You'd
want
have to
some?
cut me open and find out. You have to cut me open like that thing in Star Wars, and then get your body inside of me, and then
Star Wars. Oh, wait.
Star
the
Wars.
bantha. Remember Luke? He had
Okay. Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes.
Yeah. Let's
Empire.
be correct with
Well,
our
well, I
Star
mean,
Wars
that's-
movies here.
It's in the Star Wars
I'm going
universe.
back to where Luke grew up. What the name of that planet evades me?
Tatooine.
Tatooine.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I was thinking in Empire when he
Yeah.
had to cut the thing open.
We
and
got
then
you. We
crawl
got you now.
inside. Yeah.
We got you now.
There was no robot inside the bantha, though.
No, but you'd have to cut me open with a
let's cut you over to
lightsaber
discover that.
to find out if there's robot in me.
Yeah, I'm a little squeamish. Maybe you could do the cutting, Brendan.
No, I don't want to do the cutting.
Shit.
Laser cutting.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
bet
a
Odessa
guy.
would be all over that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a
shit.
blood guy, so the whole
Yeah.
career as a doctor was quickly
Right.
happened
No,
when I was 3 or
I'm
4.
not good with blood.
No, so
No.
that was straight guts. I didn't see too much
Mhm.
blood when they opened up the bantha. Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was all
guts.
guts. There was
Yeah.
no blood that spilled out.
No blood.
That's so strange.
So yeah,
What do you think the cave creature ate on that planet?
Like on the reg. Like
it was
banthas?
very big.
I mean,
It was very big. So what sustained it? We didn't see any other animals out there. They didn't really get into the fauna of
the ice
of
Hoth.
Hoth. Yeah.
I mean, there must have been snow hares and like rabbits,
Yeah, but that thing was huge. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
It's like
Humans.
a fucking bear.
I know where you're going. Humans. It ate humans.
There were no humans.
Well, there had to be some. I don't know.
No, it was a remote planet that was unoccupied, from what I recall.
And that's
They
why it
sent
was
the droid
appealing.
down, and the droid literally didn't see anything until they saw one of the radio stations. Right?
Yeah, it
Right,
was either
you're
that
right.
or a speeder, right? I can't
No,
remember.
I think it sent back an image
Okay.
of that.
Right,
It's
he's talking
been a
about
minute since I've seen Empire. Even
Well, that's
though
how the
it's one of
Empire
my-
knew it that they were there.
One of my
I think.
favorites.
Well, it
He's
got
talking-
destroyed.
He's talking about the surveillance droid that
Yeah.
Chewie shot
Yeah.
foolishly. Stupid. What was he? Wookiee? Stupid Wookiee.
Well, and then
Impulsive.
impulsive. I wouldn't say stupid.
Right.
Impulsive.
That's a little strong to go there with Chewie.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
He's-
where's that coming from?
that seems like you have resentment against Wookiees.
I mean,
Well, first off,
Do you have a deep-seated resentment against Wookiees?
he didn't wear any pants. Why is he not wearing pants?
Well, thankfully, unlike certain movies we've seen where certain beasts don't have all sorts of stuff just hanging out,
We got to find that movie.
You gotta
Let's-
find that movie.
Look there.
Well,
Look at
well, we
How
need
am I
to
going
find.
to find that movie?
Yeah, so what we need to look at in that movie was really the series of events that led to the Empire detecting that they were on Hoth.
Yeah.
And again, if anyone has studies of the environment that could have fed that beast, that would be welcomed.
So the movie is Sorry to Bother You,
Sorry to bother you.
and there's
Let me hold up.
Sorry to bother you for what?
like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, and there's some creatures on there known as Equisapiens. They were horse people. That movie, it was a really good movie.
Cher liked it a lot. She was that's her favorite movie. Yeah. Our my daughter Cher.
She really recommended it, and I was over here renting space, and Cher recommended that we three watch this movie one night. Careful, don't damage,
Careful, it's not the biggest area.
don't damage that $5 light with your melon.
we don't want any injuries on set.
Right, you don't want to test the insurance of Fairly Harmless.
That's right. We are not well bonded. We are.
Right. Anyways,
So-
the upshot is they did full frontal nudity.
Full
on these
frontal
creatures.
nudity of the horse people, which unlike on Hoth, where the Wookiee and the monster, did it have a name? That thing in the cave monster.
It was a description. I can't remember the name. It looked like a Yeti, right? So
It did. It looked like a Yeti.
It's a Yeti-like creature. There's
So,
no doubt about
but
that.
they didn't. Star Wars didn't go to an Empire. George Lucas didn't go to the level that
he didn't go there.
this movie went, and they showed everything. They showed massive horsecock, and
Okay, so that's where the Wookiee pants comment came from.
that's right. That's what Andrew's alluding to, is that he is offended, maybe either that there wasn't penis or that the Wookiee didn't have pants.
Well, when the movie was in pre-production, the executives who George had to go to get funding from to be able to get the movie out
Yeah,
commented, "Why isn't the Wookiee wearing pants?" And George said, "I think something like, you're a fucking idiot. Go away."
I would agree with that sentiment.
I don't think the Wookiee needed pants.
No.
He didn't. He didn't.
No, he
No, I
didn't.
mean, I think a Wookiee in general would just tear through pants, much like I'm trying to think of other things.
Where are you going with that? Do you think the Wookiee gets way too excited, or
Well, no, but I mean, Wookiee, he's like you don't see cats wearing pants. You do see dogs wearing sweaters though, which is
yeah?
kind of fucked up. Unless, I mean, is the dog really that cold that it needs a sweater?
No. Well, unless the dog is in the wrong environment.
Yeah. I don't see a lot
If you
of
bring
cats needing that.
Chihuahuas to the North Pole, that's going to be a problem.
Chihuahuas.
Yeah, Chihuahuas. You say Chihuahuas, I say Chihuahua. Whatever.
That's good. So back to Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
Thoughts? Ice planet?
No, you were just talking about the banther, whatever it was.
Yes. Well,
I just wanted to make sure our listeners knew exactly what scene you're talking about. But-
correct. We need to make sure they know.
Now,
Some
was
people
there
know.
another topic that you guys wanted to bring up on the podcast today? Or was it all extemporaneous here?
Oh, it's all pointless.
I didn't say
Extemporaneous.
pointless.
Wow, that's
I might need to look that up.
big word for us. I mean, we've got some topics we can discuss.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
you
what's
know.
7th grade humor? I mean, what is that like? What was something that
Okay,
you would have
so-
said on the playground in 7th grade?
So here's an example of that.
Here's an opportunity to cut something out of the podcast
There
later
it
on.
is. Here's what we're going to cut out later. So, on one of our other episodes, the episode with Fast Eddie on it, Andrew,
We're gonna call him 5'6" right now.
5'6",
5'6", 5'6",
5'6",
I love 5'6". I'm gonna add that.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna call
he-
him 5'6".
I'm giving him, offensive lineman, good offensive lineman speed with that.
All right. So
I think it's
5640 was on the show, and Andrew was relating to us that he had to go to the restroom. And when he likes to go to the restroom, he likes to do a number 3.
A shoot.
He aims for a number 3.
Shooting for number 3.
And I inquired as to what the fuck a number 3 is. And I said, is that pissing, shitting, and barfing? And he said, no, that's not what it is.
I just said the thing. This guy and 5'6", who is, as we've said, the purest of heart.
He's
That's
the
what
purest
Odessa
of hearts
calls him.
of all of us.
He does have a pure heart.
Those
does.
guys started riffing about what going
What the
shooting
third,
for number
what the
3
number
is.
3 is.
It was terrible. It was horrendous,
Yes.
and that stayed in.
That stayed in.
in.
That stayed in. And that was, at that point, the furthest that we'd taken the podcast as far as crudity goes.
And so that would be kind of 7th grade humor, is what we would say.
So what is a number 3?
What is a number 3? Number 1?
So I think the best that we got to was that do something out of your third eye,
Yes.
where you see the future or you see the true self. It's when you're really sick. You're shitting out of your third eye.
You're
Say what?
shitting out of your third eye. That's right. When you have
Again,
see now
I think it's time for, based on your look,
this is probably where this conversation can end.
we need to have definitely. Well, it can end, but it should end after the disclaimer of anything we say
Oh,
is probably wrong and shouldn't make sense necessarily.
one shouldn't be shared with anyone. Really. I mean,
Well, the people that are listening.
well, those are 14 listeners, but
Or
other
14.
than that,
Wait, are
no
we not
one.
up to 15?
No, we're only on 14.
So the person, whoever it was,
They didn't subscribe.
all right. So person, it could be the guy
Let's see
that
if we can log in here.
the gentleman whose name I can't remember. I almost remember, but I don't remember his name. I had lunch yesterday with Gretchen, the scientist, and his wife. I was wearing our shirt. We have fairly harmless
Gear.
merchandise,
Merch.
and this guy said, "What?" I have to ask. The image is so distinctive. What does it mean? And I
What
explained.
are you repping?
Right. And it also had the phrase, one of our catchphrases is James's coined term, pulling the taffy of the English language. And he was impressed. And I said, well, it's this stupid podcast I do with my buddy. And he said, I'm going to check it out. And then somebody, according to James,
Somebody on
binged all 17?
Yeah.
All 17
All
episodes
17
yesterday.
episodes. So there's our 14th. This is our Brendan, you're seeing the inner workings of the podcast. You're the first guest that's probably even shared an
Oh my
interest in
goodness.
knowing. That's how many listens there's been.
Give me 1.5K.
1.5
Shocking.
that is a shocking amount of listens because we're about probably 300 of those listens.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, and we can talk about the specifics of that.
We can see the
Offline.
stats.
Offline?
We
can
don't
talk
want to
about
bore
it.
our listeners here. Don't
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Yeah,
No.
let's
who
get
was-
back to something. And
Camino commented Schwa commented, quit fucking talking about
The podcast.
the podcast.
While you're on the
metrics.
podcast.
We don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
yeah. So, what's the redeeming value you would like to bring to your listeners? Like, why am I tuning in? Why am I spending an hour and a half out of my life to listen to you guys?
20 minutes tops.
Now,
20, maybe 30 minutes.
What's
Yeah.
20? What's 20 to 30 minutes?
Oh, this
each episode.
Each episode is about.
So
20.
we've already run the course.
No. Because, sorry.
Most
so,
of this will get left on the cutting room floor.
yes. So the things that get cut, there's a lot of ums and ahs and
And dead air.
dead air that gets
Yeah,
Keep
but
cut
surfing
out.
that's
the internet.
5%, right? We've been on air. What did you just start? 35 minutes? What are we up to? We're up to 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're probably
But I like to make it a little bit more, a little flow a little better.
now.
I don't
yes,
think so.
Really?
No. I mean, you can remove all the grunts and stuff.
Yeah.
All the gurgles and things like that. But the conversation, the essence of why we're going back and forth, I wouldn't remove that
Okay. Well,
per se.
I have definite ideas about what is appropriate. One of the key things is that we should be shooting for 20 minutes. We often miss that mark.
we do.
20 minutes per episode.
We'd like to keep it under 30 minutes at this
For
point.
sure, 30 minutes.
Okay. Anyways, we don't need to have this conversation right now. It's just more
It'll
curious.
just be cut.
So,
True.
so if this is all going to get cut,
Right.
Not
well,
all.
let's
maybe.
dot. Let's actually talk about a 20-minute. Let's come up with a subject and talk about it for 20, 25 minutes.
Okay, but I can guarantee
Well-
you we won't be able to stay on that topic.
Here is how
Well,
the
we'll
pod-
try. We'll try. Can
the
we try,
podcast-
guys? I
just-
think this whole thing should keep going for this one, by the way.
Gotta get that move and you groove, feel alright.
Once again, this has been fairly harmless. Missing the point on. Wait, what's the point? Our musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns, East Coast Funk. Their music is available for streaming and purchase on most media platforms. For Fairly Harmless, this has been your announcer, Fast Eddie. See you soon.